Hello, this is Greg coming at you again with another installment of Operating in the Creative. I just wanted to share something that happened to me at work the other day that deals with operating in my theme and my mantra of operating in the creative. Um, in that the other day there was this black coworker that was working behind me, and he was talking about a room for rent. So I was asking about that, and he gave the location of where it was. So I told him, I said, "Oh yeah, I used to live over there." I said, "That place is racist as all get out." Racist, racist. It's not racist. When he says, "What do you mean racist?" I said, "The black people over there," I said, "don't like interracial relationships. They don't like a white man with a black woman." "Oh, that's not true. That's not true. They're not racist. There's plenty of black men with white women over there." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point." All right. I said, "Why is it that black men have no problem with so-called interracial relationships as long as it's a black man and a white woman, but let it be a white man and a black woman, they hit the frickin' roof. They want to kick your tail, run you out." "Oh no, they don't want to do that." I'm like, "Look, buddy," I said, I, I I've been experiencing this for years. I said, my wife and I, when we were in Atlanta, all right, basically, we were in a homeless shelter, and make a long story short, we ended up fighting 15 people because they were jealous of our relationship. I said, I beat the crap out of every last one of them. I said, two of them, I said, I deliberately only put scratches on two of them. And one of those was a so-called Golden Glove boxer that I beat the crap out of. And I told him, I said, and then when we moved here to Chicago, my wife said Chicago would be better. It is better, but there's still racism. And I told him that the particular neighborhood that he lives in is racist. "Oh no, no, you can't say that." I'm like, "Look, he's like, "You can't say that. You've never lived there." And I'm like, "Didn't I just tell you I lived there?" I said, "My wife and I were there for 4 months, and we got out because of the crap." I said, "So don't tell me it's not racist, and don't tell me that black guys don't have a problem with with a white man marrying a black woman." I said, their idea of an interracial relationship is a black man with a white woman. All right, that's not the only kind of interracial relationship on this frickin' planet. All right, so why is it, that? Oh yeah, and then I told him that my wife, who works at a Walmart, had this black man, she was talking to. Now she was training this older white woman to be a cashier. So the white woman was standing there, and this black man was. I don't know how they got on the conversation, but this black man told my wife, "Name me five people that. What did he say? Yeah, no, five interracial relationships where it's a black man and a white woman." And my wife looked at the other cashier and she said, "Are you five? That's all?" She said, "We see at least 20 a day." All right, and she said, "Very rarely do you see a white man with a black woman." So he turns to this white woman that my wife is training and says, "Stay just the way you are." My wife says, "Yeah, just stay stupid, just the way he wants you to be, stupid." All right, so my my wife and this white lady were talking later on, and the white lady said she knew exactly what was going on. She knew why he made his comment, and she knew why my wife made her comment. And she said that she agreed with my wife. My wife was totally correct that these black men are racist as heck. It's okay for them to you know I don't like using the word date because they really don't date. They just use, abuse, and misuse, whoever they can to get what they want. Okay, all right. Most black men that we see, all right, are all about getting benefits. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen very few. I've seen maybe a handful of black men and white women, and all of them were older, about my age, probably in their 40s and 50s, middle class, looked like, they were, well kept, well behaved. See, but people don't have a problem when it's a, oh yeah, and I've seen a couple of white men with black women who are in their 50s as well. And black men don't have a problem with a white man, usually that I know of. They don't have a problem with a white man and a black woman that are in their 50s. But let it be somebody like me who's just a few months away from being 60 years old, married to a 35-year-old dark black woman, and they hit the frickin' roof. Okay? They want to just beat my ass, then beat her ass, harass her, harass me. So, that still goes on today. My wife and I have been married 8 years, and it happened when we first met, and it happens every now and then now. But Chicago, for the most part, is a lot better than Atlanta. I don't see as many people wanting to beat my ass over it, but they still do get extremely upset. And it's funny because from the statistics that my wife and I have found, black men date out of their race at a rate of at least 3 times what the black woman does. Yet when a black woman dates out of her race, the black man has a frickin' conniption fit. Come on, people, grow up. All right. Again, like I said, this is operating in the creative. This is a time where the energy in the universe is changing to the female energy, and in particular, the melanated female energy. All right. Now, when I say melanated female energy, more than also the statistics show that about, I believe it's about, it's been a while, about 80% of people of color are melanated and 20% of them are not, whereas 80% of Caucasians are not melanated, whereas Caucasians like myself, who make up the 20%, are. All right, I have a melanated pineal gland, activated kundalini. If you want to research it, just research. Okay, I've been basically um, how do you say, consciously woke all of my life, and that has gotten me in trouble and gets my wife and I in trouble. But this so-called conscious movement that is that black men are attempting to dominate, all right, is still going to go on without the black man, because the black man has no business dominating the conscious movement, because the universe has gone from the male energy, or the patriarchal system, to the female energy, or the matriarchal system. Whereas the research that we've done shows that this Caucasian race has only been on this planet for 6,000 years, and that's why the King James Bible and all these other Christian Bibles only trace back to 6,000 years, and anything earlier than 6,000 years, they act like doesn't exist. It's like God didn't exist. God didn't, humankind didn't exist before then, according to them, which is a big fat lie, but I could go on to that as well. My wife says that the Earth has actually, there have been three new Earths, and I told her no, there's been more than that. There's been at least 5 new Earths. All right, because if you look, even science will show you have uh, human beings, you have Denivan man, Australopithecus man, Neanderthal man, and several other humanoids that existed long before we did. So, and then the melanated being existed in all those realms whereas the Caucasian realm only existed for the last 6,000 years. All right. And if you have proof that I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but my research shows I'm right. But if you can show me where I'm wrong, then I'm more than willing to examine your evidence. But as far as the research that my wife and I have done, this is what the conclusions that we've come to. So the black man still gets upset when oh yeah, and when I was debating with this guy for about 3 hours at work, and every time he opened his mouth, I basically said something to shut it. It's like every time I said something, it was like crickets. He couldn't say a thing. And I told him, I said, look, I said, don't argue with me, okay? I said, you're going to lose. But in any case, the melanated woman, as I have said before, she is God now. Right? Always has been. It's just that the Caucasians hijacked her history and basically took over her dominance. But that's changing. And I remember back in when my wife and I met in 2010, um, I basically told her about how there was going to be a universal change in consciousness, and that the Earth was moving from a male energy to female energy. And then she did research and she found the same thing. And she's done quite a bit of research. I've actually learned a lot from her on the matter, and she learns from me, so we kind of bounce off each other. And makes people upset because people ask how long we've been married, and I say we've been married 8 years. One coworker the other day asked if my wife and I still have passion in our marriage, passion in our relationship, and I'm like absolutely, and I told her absolutely. I was asking my wife today. I said, "Do you think that we still have passion in our relationship?" She said, "Absolutely." And it makes some people, and I hate to say this, it's usually the black man, highly upset to see a white man and a dark melanated black woman very close, very much in love, very we're like one being. As two have become one, and really people just don't get it. They just don't understand it. But I just wanted to share that with you today. That people need to get past all the isms, the racism, sexism, ageism, colorism. That stuff's being done away with. And my wife and I, especially her, because she's working where she works with the public uh, daily, and she's seeing the change happen more and more each day, and it's really making her happy. Makes me happy too. But if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to leave them. And that's just my little take for today, is something that I wanted to get off my chest. So have a great day, and keep operating in the creative. See if I can shut this off.